remember seeing like the old yearbook, and underneath it wrote like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everyone's like, I want to be a doctor and this and this, and I wrote an artist. My name's Andrew Lennon, and I'm a freelance designer in Lynchburg, Virginia, and also lead a local church here. The journey's pretty crazy. I grew up in the Philippines. My whole family, pretty much everyone was in the medical field or doing something in higher education, and for some reason I got really drawn into art. I remember when I was like 5 years old, like I got like one of those drawing books of like how to draw horses, and it shows you step by steps, like draw the circles and the lines. And I just started drawing horses, and that really got me into art. In high school, I got into graphic design, so I got a old Wacom bamboo tablet, and from there like discovered like digital art, and it was like this whole nother realm of just like creativity, because there's just like so much freedom you can do, versus a pen and a paper. And entering into college, I was going to study, something in the medical field because that's what my family did. And long story short, the Lord ends up calling me to ministry, and but during that whole journey, I was just kind of doing art on the side. Wasn't really getting paid for it. Wasn't really trying to get paid. It was just a very like passionate thing that I did, but it was also kind of like an act of worship for me. And out of nowhere, I just like designed a tattoo for someone, and I was like, oh, and I got like $50 out of it. I was like, oh, like this is cool, like I can make money from this. And in the course of I think a year and a half after that, I went full time. I designed this tattoo called Lady Wisdom, and I was like literally like shocked myself, like this is really good. You know what I mean? And for like a creative person to think their art is good, like it has to be good because you are your hardest critic. But I remember like after I did that, like it was almost a spark inside of me of like, I can do this. For me, when I create, or at least I try to, like I want to make something that like stands like the test of time, if that makes sense. I know it's super dramatic, but like it's something that like has longevity in life, and like when the Lord created, he put like breath into it, and so like I want what I create to have life. Essentially, like, for me, worship is like an everyday moment, since like the presence of God lives inside of us. And so now we don't have to worship in a building or on a mountain. Like we worship now just through constant communion with the Lord. And so for me, when I design it, like it's one of those things that I know, like when the Lord knit me and like created me, it was like part of his desire for my life was, I created you to create in this avenue and in this direction, because I believe every person's created to create in some aspect. And so for me, it's like when I start creating, whether through whatever means, but specifically through like design, like when I create, it feels like I'm tapping into a part of who I actually am, that like the Lord created me to be. Even as I'm designing, I'm like hearing from the Holy Spirit, and I'm like getting ideas, and like a lot of my designs, I even look back at it, I'm like, how did I even get that idea? Like it doesn't make sense. For me, when I'm creating, it's like I just feel like Holy Spirit's just there with me, and I'm just like tapping into the mind of Christ, and like God is the most creative being because he created creativity and he created the ability to create. And so it's cool because as Christians, it's like our call is to co-create with our Creator, and it's to co-labor with him. And so when I design, it doesn't have to look like you saving someone and leading them to Christ, but it's like Jesus died to have communion with us. And so design is worship. Like it's anything can be worship, but it's like for me, when I enter into that place of creating, it's like, God, like I know that like I'm able to connect with you in a deeper way versus doing something else. So yeah.